Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Taurus, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Strength card. Now, I tried to record this video previously and then realized I hadn't hit the record button, so I've had to start it again. But the message that I gave you the first time round for this was, this week the Strength card is asking you, yes, strength, courage to go after the things that you need, the things that you want, the things that you desire. Yes, absolutely. But it goes deeper than that. This week you are really being asked to look at what it is in your heart of hearts that you truly want, that you truly desire. This is a moment of self-honesty. This is a moment for you to get really clear and really honest about what it is that you want at that deepest level of self. This is about you having the courage, the grit, the patience and the determination to go after the things that you really envision for your life. The fact that you have the Strength card, so your original actions and options card that came up was the Knight of Swords, and one of the things that I said as part of that message was that you were charging in on something, but this was the right energy to have. You know, usually when the Knight of Swords comes up, I say to people, maybe don't be a bit too hasty, but you know, think about what you're doing. But this really feels like a time of charging forward or pushing ahead for those goals. For your actions and options card, you have the Page of Swords. Of course you do. So similar kind of message. This really is a message for you to get out of your head and get into your heart. This is a time where you need to not think so much about it, but just start doing it. This is one of those times where getting started before you're ready, getting started before you have all the resources. You know, this is one of those moments where you're taking the fool's leap, right? Where you jump off the cliff and you say, you know what, the universe has got me. I'm going to do my bit, and now I just need to trust that the universe will do its. This is about setting up meetings, having conversations. This is about getting in touch with different people. The Page of Swords for me has a very initiatory kind of energy about it, and this really feels for me like you're initiating goals that are based on the things that you truly desire. What this does also suggest then is that there are going to be some hiccups this week, but there's nothing that you can't. This is not one of those weeks to say, well, if it's not easy, then I guess I should just give up. This is one of those weeks where when there are speed bumps, when there are hiccups, that is your sign to keep going. You're a Taurus after all, so smash through that. For your communications and conversations, you have the King of Pentacles. So your card shows up in your communications and conversations. This is people receiving you this week. Don't be surprised if you find, hang on a sec, people are listening to me more than usual. Don't be surprised if your words have a bit more weight, especially within the career sector, especially within the profession, all of that kind of area. But also, this is you communicating from that heart space. So you find it this week. If you're watching this at the moment and you're thinking, well, you know, that doesn't really sound like where I'm at the moment, you will feel it. As soon as it kicks in, you will know, yes, okay, I know what I want now and I'm ready to start moving towards it. That King of Pentacles, so for those of you that are studying or in the academic sphere, I like this for you because it suggests that you're setting the stage, or you're setting the example of the way that things should be. You show up truly as yourself, very headstrong, but more importantly, you are getting the recognition for the gifts that you are putting forward. For those of you that are employed, similar kind of energy, but this actually is a card of promotion and advancement and moving forward. So this could be some really great news on the career front. When it comes to those of you that are come on brain, self-employed, business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, one of the things that I will say to you this week, you have to consider What does it look like for you to truly be successful? This is a week where you are having to fight against what, you know, even if you've got that nagging doubt in your mind, like, oh, you know, it's too big, or it's too much, or, you know, it's improbable, it's impossible. Like, this is a week where you may find the challenge in the world to say, well, you know, if you think it's impossible, then I guess it is to you, and you can't have that. You know, that you're playing a little bit of, there's a little bit of banter going on with the universe this week. I kind of get the feeling for you guys. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, this is you looking at where your skill set is recyclable. This is also you showing up very powerfully as yourself and really speaking your mind on something. Now, Taurians tend to speak their mind anyway. You guys tend to be people of few words, but what you do say tends to have a lot of weight. This week, I think you're going to be a lot more vocal. I think you're going to be a lot more outspoken, and I think you're actually going to really enjoy it. For your love and relations, you've got the Five of Swords. So one thing that I am going to urge you to, for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, do not bring your sassy into the relationship, okay? And that's not to say that you could banter. Yes, absolutely. But you can't bring that big work energy into your relationship because it will cause a problem. You've got the Five of Swords and the Page of Swords. This is a whole heap of shit talking, right? And you don't do that to your partner. Who you are in the boardroom is not how you treat your other half. Not outside of certain agreements, but I will say no more on that front. But all jokes aside, you this week, keep an eye on how you speak to your partner, how you communicate with your family, your loved ones. How you show up at home is not the same energy that you need to be bringing to work, okay? Especially because this week, your words have a lot more weight. So you may say something that you think is a passing comment and it sticks. Be mindful of that. For those of you that are single and looking, honestly, you could have a bit of a skirmish with someone at work, and it feels like it will be more like that. You know, there's that, and I think this came up in your monthly read as well, that for some of you there would be a moment of, you know, okay, you know what, this person gets on my nerves because I actually find them really attractive. It's possible with that Five of Swords, for those of you that are newly seeing someone, with this Page of Swords and this King of Pentacles energy, there's a very strong sense here that you will finally be very aware of, yes, this person is the one, or no, this is not them, moving on to the next. For your money and materials, you've got the Queen of Swords. This is a lot of court card energy, and whenever there's a lot of court cards in a reading, it usually suggests that whatever you're doing, yes, you have to be self-directed. Yes, you've got to be 100% honest and clear with yourself about what you want and desire at that deeper level. But you are having to be very aware this week that other people, whether they are close to you, at a distance, colleagues, partners, family, it doesn't matter who. There are a lot of what you're doing this week is reliant or dependent on connections and collaborations with others. And so therefore, because it is the Queen of Swords, and you've got the Five of Swords, and you've got the Page of Swords, that's a lot of potential friction in communications. It's a lot of potential friction. And like I said, your words really have a lot of weight this week. So you've got to be very mindful at how you speak, the things that you say, the phrases that you say. One thing that my very first ever mentor, when I was just a wee witchling at the age of 15, really drilled into us was that there were certain times at which you never say things in jest. So, you know, oh, stop doing that, you're going to fall and break your leg. This is not a week to say things in jest, and it's also not a week to bring that kind of energy into a relationship. What you say to a partner, what you say to a family member, you may see as a joke or a throwaway comment. It'll stick, and it'll, with this much swords energy and fractious communications swords energy at that, it has the potential to cause a problem. I'm going to say this as well. This is not a week to have conversations around money, not with a significant other, not with friends, or anything like that. If it's with a boss, and you're needing to haggle or negotiate with clients or about rates and who pays what, etc., yes, you can do that all day long. But having intimate or deep conversations around money, finances and resources with people that are closer to here, not a good idea this week. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I mean, the Queen of Swords for me is Libra ruled, and so therefore this is your kidneys and your waterworks, your urinary system. Look after that aspect of self this week, especially because you've got the Strength card as the key to the week, and the Strength is usually the indicator of the body. So I would say watch out for that this week. If you're a drinker, if you're the sort of person that knows your water intake sucks, this is the week to get on top of that, to really alleviate any problems that may arise. I'm not a doctor, I can't give you medical advice, but if it comes up and I see something, then I will tell you. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, home could be a little bit tense this week. You've got weight, and really in a lot of ways I kind of feel like you're really settled on the internal, and so you might just be walking around not really noticing anything, like in your own world, and everyone else is. It's kind of like that. I don't know if you've seen that meme where Homer Simpson is sitting in the car like, he's smiling to himself and everybody else is sat there looking at him like, This could be that kind of week. Don't take it personally, and try not to respond personally as well. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.